I was bringing our man Eddie Gonzalez live from the city. Eddie, I was thinking of you this morning, man. I got a good one in. I got five in this morning, but each mile was a faster pace.
I like that. I'm not capable of that, so I respect that.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. I got down to, I think, it was only 5 miles. So I think I got down to like 8:05 on the fifth one. So it was good, man. I was like, all right, that was a good one. I'll do a recovery tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to get that extended one in on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, some of us still got bellies. Is it easier or harder running with a 8-pack like you got? Like, how's that work?
Like you still feel it in your legs, and I think I got some years on you too, so it hits a little different.
Do you guys, bro? I do. When you do that, I do my long runs on Sundays too. That Monday.
Oh yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
Let me ask both of you guys a question because I don't run no miles. I don't do that.
Easy
but
cool.
No. I'm like the Kings. I get my cardio in on the basketball court.
You got shades on in the inside, baby. You is way too cool.
That's where I get my cardio. Me and Zach Levine, we do the same thing. We get our cardio in on the basketball court. That's how we do it.
That's not who. Well, I would not compare yourself to Zach Levine right now. But go ahead.
You know.
But do you guys is it on your phone, on your watch, where you mark a mile?
For me, it's my watch. I don't bring my phone with me because the phones are too big now.
Okay.
I have to bring my phone because I need music, and I got my own little bag that I like, a waist bag.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had the mental capacity to run with no music. That sounds like.
Well, no, I've done that before, and it's miserable. I was like, no, I'm gonna go clear my mind. It's stupid.
But you go run with it on your watch.
But I do I pay the $10 a month thing, so the watch has a signal. Just so I have music. That's the
I might have to do that. I might have to just do that.
It's worth it. It's worth it because these phones keep getting bigger. You got the cases on it. I just leave the phone at the house. Now, when I do the race, I'll bring the phone with me.
Yeah,
like the phone will be with me. But
bro, the crazy thing.
I'm doing my first turkey trot tomorrow, so I'm officially that person now.
There you go.
The crazy.
Never thought I'd be him, but here we are.
Both of y'all, do you have like headphones or do you use the AirPods?
AirPods.
That's crazy. I can't do it, man. I sweat too much, I guess. Like even when I like listen to something while I'm hooping, I got the over the head Beats by Dre joint because like AirPods and like stuff, they be slipping out of my ear because of the sweat.
D-Lo, you making all these excuses, man, or is it just my mic?
No, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it.
What? I'm throwing the head over the head joints. I can't do the AirPods.
I'm gonna go the opposite.
The new ones, the AirPod 2s, they seem like they're in your ear a little bit more.
Those aren't new.
Well, the latest ones that they have.
We're on like AirPod 4.
I got the ones that don't like log into your ear, basically, like the first ones.
Okay.
Those ones be slipping out. If I'm
get the updated
quick.
ones. Get the updated ones, and they have
What's up? What's good? No, it's good.
They have different size tips that you
can
put
my
on it.
God. Yo, hey, I'm
trying to help.
No, not on this show. They don't.
Oh, that's my gosh. Wow. I was just talking about running, bro.
Let's talk Kings or something now.
Some are bigger, some are smaller. Just make a little adjustment and you're good to go. Jeez.
I'm gonna go the other way, man. The over the ear, that's like it's too much sweat. It's like it don't work for.
I got covers on, like you put covers on the
You get on them long, them things will pull. You'll start you move them headphones and all of a sudden it's like, what the hell was that?
I had the AirPod Max, and those are cloth all around, and they're hella heavy. But I bought like covers for them. But it was just like, it's just gross. It's just like
here's why
right here.
Here's why Eddie can cook, because this is what I did in New York. You put I think I had Beats back then, the ones that like went around your head and put in your ear.
Yeah.
But because it's cold, you put the headband over.
Now you cook.
And then it gets a little bit louder. Oh my God, that's the move right there.
Hey, what's up, big dog? How you doing, baby?
Yeah.
It was
pretty much.
You don't hear nothing nobody says.
They don't want to hear my men's fitness hour, yo. We losing viewership by the second.
we know it's bad when Eddie's talking about the Kings. we know it's bad
Because I was halfway skimming the game. Like I was like, it's a mess of a game in general.
Or the Kings.
But I look up and it's a 30-point game. And I'm like, Doug is gonna get fired for this, and this ain't even him. Like this is they're gonna fire him because they gotta do something. But it's like, who's next? And they're gonna do the same thing. And what are they gonna do with these guys? Like, it's disheartening, and it's frustrating for me as a Doug Christie fan because, like, where does he go from here? Is he gonna go on another bench and like work his way through it again? Is he gonna get another opportunity? We know for black coaches, it's few and far between, even in this league. Like, and it's not like he put the best tape out there, no matter what you consider when you take the considerations of the job he did for this team. So it's just disheartening in that sense. Like, we talked about this before. Super happy he got this job. Maybe this is the only job he would have gotten with his resume and the history he had with the team, but it's going to be a tough climb up again to get another job. And it's not necessarily all his fault. Now, he is the coach of the team, so he bears some of the brunt, but you got a mob going out there and they dropping 40 points to some of the Grizzlies. It's like, all right, some of this ain't on this dude.
Eddie, you've been around the league. Obviously, people in the league. You've probably had these type of conversations. Dog, to lose by 30, 40 points in this league, to me, that's not talent. That's not like, oh, this the NBA. Like, oh yeah, this team is 30, 40 points better than us. That's effort. That's giving a damn. That's quitting. That's the difference between quitting and not quitting. Like losing by 20 or 40. Am I right with that?
Absolutely. And it's like it's too early in the season for me to be like, oh, that's a schedule loss, or to be this, that, and the third. You're relatively healthy. They're missing their big guy. Like, they got a lot of stuff going on that team as well. That was the funniest part to me is Grizzlies are a mess. The Grizzlies came out here and played the Knicks, and I'm talking to people around the league and who went to the game and media that was in the locker room, and it was just like, oh, none of those dudes care. They're like, they kind of ruined my day. They didn't care so much, and it was just like, that was a team that just is not out here doing it. They're not happy with their coach. They got all kind of stuff going on themselves. And then to lose to that team, knowing that, like, imagine what your situation looked like and sound like, and how people were feeling around that. And so I know Kings fans are frustrated. I seen the LaMelo Ball rumor, and then LaMelo Ball shut it down. And then I also heard around the way, like, that's kind of not what's going on, and this and that. And Kings fans instantly perked up and said, that's not a fix. Like, you're in a place where you need to break this all the way down. There's nothing salvageable here anymore, and you got to just move on to that next phase. And it's going to be a slow, frustrating grind, but it's going to take all that to get back to being competitive. And we talked about this last week. It feels like a couple days ago that they were playing the Warriors, in the playoffs, and it's like they're on the upswing here, and now it's who knows what's going to happen for the next 3 years.
31, 27, 33, and 41. Those are the amount of points that the Kings have lost in games over the last 14 days. That's not even on the entire season. That's just over the last 14 days. It is so hard to lose games by that many points, much less to do it 4 times. And you talk about what's next. That's what we've been trying to figure out all day. Is like, what is this basketball team doing next? Because whatever it is, and this is what you just said, this is going to take a long ass time.
Yeah, and I think you're looking at a lot of situations around the league that are hampered by the apron, and you got OKC and the Nets taking advantage of that, sweeping up all these picks, but you had these teams who loaded up on contracts, who took a real run in a way you could have and should have in a previous CBA. And now there's zero flexibility. There's no way to get better. People keep saying all these contracts and all these guys who could and maybe should get traded, but I keep asking the same questions. Why would the other team do that? What other team has the flexibility to put a trade together right now for $40 million of James Harden? Well, you know who does? Some of the teams with other disgruntled players. But if you're the Kings, what necessarily do you do that for Zach LaVine right now? What does that do for you? James has an option this summer, and he can leave if he wants. And even if he stays, you're going to look for $42 million next year for James. If you're the Clippers, why do we do that? Like, what do we do with Zach LaVine? We're looking like one of the worst teams in the league. We're going to try to salvage it. And the same goes for a lot of the other guys who are being mentioned. Ja Morant, now LaMelo Ball, Trae Young. It's like, why are we're making these lateral moves or whatever. You think Trae is better than Zach and DeMar or whatever the combination is. You're making these very slightly vertical moves for what? And those are the only teams with flexibility. And the other teams that do have some flexibility, like the Spurs, we don't need those guys. We're fine where we are. Or, the Nets, we don't want those guys. That's not a tier 1 superstar. And we're not trading our assets for that right now either. And so it's like people are expecting all these changes to happen. And I look at Anthony Davis, the same thing. What team is lining up at the Anthony Davis store right now? People keep saying the Bulls, but why? Like, they started off really competitive. They lost, I think, 5-6 games in a row. They're still competitive again. They just beat the Nuggets. They just had some tough games. It's like, why do they need to get rid of some of their assets to get whatever Anthony Davis is right now and for as expensive as he is? You're not trading for these big contracts anymore. There's a reason why it took so long for Kevin to get traded. There's a reason why Giannis asked out this summer and couldn't get traded. And there's a reason why LeBron is suiting up for the Lakers now, because you can't trade these guys anymore. It's too complicated. Now, this summer, some cap space opens up and some teams get under the apron and some things shake out. Maybe it becomes a little different this summer. But as of right now, no, you just can't do those trades anymore.
And here's the other killer about it. The other terrifying thing, you talk about this taking a long time potentially. The other thing is going through the draft, right? And now you might be bad enough where you get a top 5 pick. And, I know about Darren Peterson. We know about AJ Devonsta. We know about Cam Boozer and all those other guys. Michael Brown. I love his game and everything else like that. But I'm old enough to remember Zion Williamson and what his buzz was coming out of college. I'm old enough to remember guys like Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins and what people thought about them coming out of college and coming out of high school and all this other stuff. The draft is littered. Dog, in the same draft that Luka Doncic, Trae Young, all these other guys went into, for the majority of the college basketball year, it was all no. DeAndre Ayton's the number 1 pick, period. Period. So you talk about that, and not only, that you get to that point and you got a draft pick and your top 5 and all this other stuff. Do you know how right you have to be, how lucky you have to be to get one of them? Another example, Tatum, Fox, all those other guys. It was Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball who was the prize of that draft. And they were talking about, and Markelle was a killer at Washington. He looked amazing in Washington.
Markelle was alone.
Yeah.
It was Markelle, like, he is clearly first. Lonzo is clearly second. And then there's everything after that.
Yeah. So, you talk about the draft, it's like, bro.
The report out there was, the Celtics wouldn't take Tatum at 1 if they had to, or whatever it was, and they traded and they mixed.
Yeah, Danny Ainge said we would have taken the same player at 1 that we took at 3.
And it sounds good now, but like y'all said, at the time, it was so clearly Markelle Fultz, and it was so clearly Lonzo Ball. And even if you were a Tatum guy, it was like, he was hurt. Like, we don't know. We're going to see. And if he emerges as the best player of that draft, it's like, it's an inexact science. Even tanking doesn't work. You look at what the Nets just went through. They were in a 4-player draft and they get 5. And they had one of the worst records in the league. And it was like, we all but sewn up to get one of these guys. And it's inexact. And I look at Jalen Durant. I was just having this conversation about Jalen Durant. He just turned 22 the other day, and he looks incredible in his 3rd year. Last year, people were wondering if he could be even in the rotation. His rookie year, people were like wondering if he's even in the league. And it's like, you have to have the patience to let Jalen Durant become Jalen Durant. And I think we as fans, and I think this happens to some front offices as well, we see what happens with the Luka, the KD, the LeBrons, and like, these guys hit the ground running. That is the absolute 1% rarity. That doesn't happen. Stephen Curry didn't hit the ground running. James Harden didn't hit the ground running. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit the ground running. Nikola Jokic didn't hit the ground running. Giannis didn't hit the ground running. Like, you make your bones. Yes, winning the lottery is great. And you pick a great player and you go from there. And you pick Paolo Banchero, and now you're in the playoffs for the first time in years. But you make your bones picking 5 to 10, 10 to 15. You make your bones picking 35, and you make that a player who fits your rotation, who is a valuable player. You make that somebody who is something. That's what the Kings are going to have to do for the next few years. If they don't win the lottery, they got to hit on pick 4. If they don't win the lottery, they got to kill it with the 33rd pick of the draft. Like, that's how you make your team. You look at the Thunder, they got Shea from a trade, and that was like kind of fell in their lap and they got lucky. But you hit on Chet, you hit on Jalen, you hit on all these wings they have. They have like 19 wings on this roster who are just valuable players. But they have to all be playable guys. You have to draft Casey Wallace. You have to know who he is and draft him and wait it out until he's playable in the playoffs for you. And like the Kings have not shown the ability to do that, and that's across regimes.
Their first-round draft pick last year couldn't get in a 41-point blowout.
That's crazy.
Their first-round pick.
To let them develop.
Right.
And we've talked about the Halliburton trade before, and I have since flip-flopped because Hallie is a dude.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't have the patience to let Hallie and Fox turn into a thing. And that's 2 all-stars, and now they're 2 all-stars in 2 whole different cities. And so it's like, you have to wait that out. The Thunder thing took years. Like, even when you draft 5 and 3 like the Celtics did, and you get Jalen and you get JT, that took years. You had to wait that out for years of teams of the media saying you got to break those 2 guys up. Doesn't make sense. You had to wait years and then draft more guys around them to make that work too.
Yeah, but you didn't have to wait years to be competent. You had to wait years to win championships. The Celtics have to be the shortest rebuild in history. They tore that entire 2008 franchise apart, including sending the coach to Los Angeles, bringing this nerdy college coach who was the hit of the NCAA tournament. And what was it, 2 years?
And that's a great point.
From like 20 wins to 40 wins, and then all of a sudden they're contending in the conference every year.
And that's a great point, because you got to find that basketball mind too. You define that mind, whether it's your coach, whether it's GM, your president, whatever you want it to be.
Well, now the nerd runs the organization. Now he's in charge of everything.
He was so smart. They said, no, actually come upstairs and put your understudy in. And then when that guy had to get out, I was like, oh, you have another understudy. It's fine. Put him in. And he won a title. And again,
he had 3 of them. One of them's in Utah. Now the one who messed up is in Houston. Right.
They were mad they lost him. And he's I know what the record is, but he's a good coach. Yeah. And so again, the Thunder built the same way. They brought it. They got Dagnall, and people didn't know that name, but they trusted what he was bringing. And obviously with Presti and the way he built that team, that's I can speak from experience now watching what they're doing in Houston. He fell into their lap, but they hired the great mind that they knew would be the coach for this team. And then they had the general manager who they knew was strong-willed enough. And when you hear the stories about Raphael Stone and the way he played hardball to eventually get Kevin for way less than it was supposed to cost, that guy plays no games. So you have to you build this from the ground up, and it has to be a united front all the way around. And I don't think we've had that from the Kings in a long time, unfortunately.
Raphael Stone sounds like a movie villain.
The stories about him sound like one too. It's like, what?
Salute.
Yeah, I just don't know. We talked about this a little bit a few years ago before Beam Team 1 happened. And luckily at that time, we didn't have to experience it. But I know myself and Damian were trying to like tell people who were like, nah, just tear it down, just tear it. Like, I don't think you know what that looks like.
Mm-mm.
I don't think you understand what that looks like. We're mad today.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably looking the type of basketball we see. The characters have changed a little bit, but the type of basketball and the type of losses that we're seeing today in this past week for the tear down that everybody says needs to happen and wants to happen. So you're gonna deal with this for at least another 2-3 years,
mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Like it's nasty. Now the hope is on the other side, you have Cade Cunningham. You have SGA, that eventually you get that guy. Dog, Wemby might end up being the greatest player to ever play the game. He still ain't been to the playoffs.
Wemby won like 20 games this first year.
Yeah.
Maybe about 30 the second.
Dog, it's nasty. It's nasty. And I hope that the Kings defy all odds and they can streamline straight through. But I'd say it's nasty when you talk about tear down, rebuild, through the draft, all this other stuff. It could get ugly.
And it doesn't always work. That's the part people gotta understand too. Like the Rockets, it took years. It took years, and it took some really bad years. Even the Suns who made a finals trip after a long stretch of losing, it took years.
9 straight years, I think, of missing the playoffs. Might
But
have
that
been
doesn't guarantee you get over the hump and win the title either.
Mhm.
You know, and then you have to take bigger swings at that point to fully capitalize on what you've built. And you look at,
Phoenix
Thunder,
is a great example because they had Book.
yeah,
That's a perfect example. They had a guy, and it wasn't enough.
and they knew what Book
weren't doing
was,
enough.
and it was like, all right, what do we? And they had to hit in the draft a few more times. And you could argue that they didn't hit with Ayton. They they should have picked a couple other guys, but they had to hit in the draft for Bridges, had to hit in the draft with Cam, had to surround Book with the guys who made sense for him. Then go hit in free agency with CP, or maybe that was a trade. But point is, they had to go get a guy, and then you compete. And so it's like, getting the guy that helps. That's first. They're early, but you got to do the rest of the stuff too. There's no shortcuts to this. Nobody just gets a super team. Doesn't matter how great the player is. You get Nikola Jokic, and he's the greatest player in the league. That doesn't guarantee you'll be good. You also have to go get Jamal Murray. You also have to go get Aaron Gordon and make a huge splash with that. You have to get the coach, and you have to get another coach because that coach bumped heads, and it keeps going, and you can't waste those guys when you get them. And that's kind of like what the Kings had to figure out. You got to get your guy, and unfortunately for them, they had a couple guys, and now they're other places. And this might be sacrilegious. De'Aaron Fox is pretty good right now, guys. Like, I don't know how many Spurs games you're watching, and we're not going to see the full Spurs for some time, but it looks pretty good. And Tyrese Halliburton looked really good last year, and you're seeing what missing him feels like this year. And the Pacers have been pretty competitive here and there, but those two dudes were good. So you got to get a guy, then you go from there.
Bring this full circle for it. It was Chris Paul got to Phoenix from OKC. That's why OKC probably got Phoenix's pick stashed away somewhere, right? Just ready to make him and draft another wing.
OKC is a great example. Not even just this current iteration, but even after losing Kevin, they continue to make moves and compound those moves to remain competitive. And they continue to take swings. And they got Chris and they got Paul, and they went on and on. And then when they lost those guys, they still kept swinging. They still kept going to get guys. They had the one of the bigger free agent signings of the year last year. It doesn't sound like a big one, but for what they paid, Isaiah Hartenstein, over $100 million. Alex Caruso, big trade of a young guy who was an asset and who was probably going to get paid coming up here in Giddy. Like, you have to remain aggressive, and you have to make the right moves. And sometimes they're going to be the wrong moves. Sometimes you're going to trade for some guys who don't make sense and this and that. But again, you got to remain aggressive. And the Thunder, much like the Nuggets, much like the Warriors, you get hit in the draft. You have to hit in the draft when you get a chance. And you have to hit in the draft when you don't have a chance. And that's how you make these teams work.
It's like Scott Perry has to, like, people are going to spend the next couple of weeks pulling out their Christmas decorations, and they think they organized them all properly to make it easy for the next year. But all the lights are tangled up.
Yeah.
That's Scott Perry. Scott Perry's going to spend the next year untangling all the lights that Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox just ripped off the tree and threw in a box. And he's got to untangle these lights before he can put up the decorations. And the kids are getting anxious. The kids are getting a little frustrated that they can't put the Christmas lights up. And now we're just sitting around waiting for something to happen, hoping it happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a journey, and it's unfortunate for Kings fans. And going back to the original topic of the conversation, I feel bad for Doug Christie. Like I tweeted, he the analogy I used, and people who updated the analogy gave me better examples and stuff. But they gave him an 02 Camry, and they said win the Daytona 500, and it's just not. Now they're mad at him because he couldn't, or I don't know if they're mad at him or not. I haven't paid attention to how the front office feels about Doug, but when somebody has to go, it's going to be Doug.
We don't think the front office buys Doug at all.
So, and that's unfortunate for him. He did, I'm not gonna say he got a raw deal because he got a chance to swing at a NBA gig, and a lot of guys don't get that, but he got a raw deal in the sense of he didn't necessarily have the tools to succeed in this role. And now, whether he's lost the team or whether the guys are always whoever you want to blame it on, he'll be the first shoe to fall. And you hate to see that, but hopefully there's something else for him out there, and he can work his way back to it. I think Doug's a great guy, and I want to see him succeed.
Washington Wizards 1-13. They have a point differential of negative 16.3. Second is the Sacramento Kings 3-13. They have a negative point differential, or a point differential of negative 13.4. It's bad, man. It's bad.
I mean, it's room over here in Houston, man. We're looking good. I mean, I'm watch this game tonight.
Yeah, Houston's fun to watch.
That's gonna be a good game tonight. I'm tapped in.
That's the best, Eddie. Is that the best 3-point shooting team in the league?
I think like they percentage wise, they don't shoot a lot of threes. Like
okay.
They're
Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
Oh, Keon Ellis, he's a 40% 3-point shooter. Yeah, but he shoots 4 threes a game or 3 threes a game. That's Houston, because I think they're shooting like 43%, but they shoot that low number because everybody can hit in the. I think they have the highest percentage and the lowest amount of attempts.
Yeah, the Rockets' profile is they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they get they get the most offensive rebounds in the league, and they make the threes and they shoot them, which is
Steven Adams wears a Rockets uniform.
Recipe.
That's why.
It's a great recipe, and they haven't been their full team yet this year, and they won't probably for another 4 weeks either. As Tari's out, and you're waiting for Dorian to come back, but it's been fun to watch. I mean, talking to Kevin the other night. He shot it bad. I thought he played well, but he missed a lot of shots. But it was like, it's a relief to play like that, contribute in other ways, and still win the game. They were running away with that game for quite a while against the Cavs, and then it got close, and then Alfred Sengun stepped up late. But one thing he said is like, he said on my stream on Playback, not to plug it, but I called him after the Magic game, and he was like, one thing about these young dudes, they don't quit. Like, I know they're going to play hard all night, the entire night. You know what I mean? And then I chip in and do my stuff where I do it. But they're not going to quit. And they've shown that. They're a physical team. They're a fast team. And like he said, they don't quit. They keep going. And it has some pretty big wins. Pretty big wins.
Did you notice that weird little trend with the Magic?
Which one?
They won like 5 of 6.
That's not a bad team, man.
Well, they're winning without Paolo.
Yeah, and I know what people make it of, and during the summer and last year, people were wondering him or Franz, and I think they're just an odd fit. And the problem is neither one of them are great shooters. I think one of the things that's been sneaky is Desmond Bain woke up, and he had a hell of a game against the Rockets. He had a hell of a game the other night against the Warriors too, and I think he's finally woken up. He started the season really rough. He's been hitting some big shots for them dudes. They're coming around. I think, look, when Paolo comes back, that narrative is going to start picking up. And he's got to find ways to contribute towards winning, because it was looking rough right before that. But it's a long season, and I'm a big Paolo Banchero fan. So I hope to see him come in, chip in, and be the guy he is as a former number 1 pick and a real talent.
Now the Nerds are ready. The Nerds were started at the beginning of the season. The turn on Paolo and not winning player. And if you really look at his PER, he's actually not. Yeah,
I'm not saying none of that stuff. All I'm saying is the team was struggling. Paolo went out and they won 5 of 6. That's just a casual observation.
What I will say about Paolo
is different than Atlanta. Atlanta's been winning games without Trae Young, and it's like, all right.
Yeah, and that team is nasty. That is a tough mob of dudes they have over there. Really athletic.
Atlanta.
Their wings are really long. They're in all the passing lanes. Dyson Daniels is nasty. And so
they're moving the ball a lot too, like Chicago is. Like, they're moving the ball a ton.
You have these modern teams, and I always say the Thunder are like the perfect modern style of basketball team, in it everybody's long, everybody's super active defensively, everybody shoots. Now, are they all great shooters? No, but they're good enough to where you have to go out there, chase them down, and they will knock some down. And that's kind of what you're doing with the Hawks. It's kind of what you want to do with the Magic, but Paolo and Franz aren't great shooters like you would hope they would be, but that is kind of that modern team. And when you watch the Bulls, their center just made a game-winning 3, it's the same recipe there too. We're all gonna be long. We're gonna be fast and fly, and we're gonna shoot as many threes as we can. And that's the game now, and that's how you got to win.
Yeah. I'm still, obviously it's always Kings, but and I want to see Houston win or whatever, but going to that Knicks state, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to that Knicks state, baby. We out on the Garden, right on Cat Avenue.
Shout out to them.
Right on Cat Avenue, baby. You know what I mean? Jalen Brunson way. You know what I mean?
Finally won a game on the road. Congrats.
Kenny actually makes me hate the Knicks.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have no like I
And the
had no
Niners.
problem with the Knicks, but Kenny makes me hate them.
OG Boulevard, baby. You saw what it was last year. Stop playing with us. Big
gotta come out here
Brunson,
and catch a
stop
game,
playing.
man.
You know the vibes.
You gotta come out here and catch the game.
I do. I've never been to the Garden, man. I got to get to the Garden.
All right, the Garden, I will say, it lives up to the hype.
Mm.
It lives up to the hype.
Yeah,
I was a
especially
big
after
Barclays
tomorrow.
guy for obvious reasons. It just feels different in the Garden. Whether
Mm.
it's a concert, whether it's a game, it just feels more important. I can't hate.
Eddie, we're gonna be out there at Christmas, man. If you're around, we got to come see you.
What? Say less.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
We're getting
man.
up. We're gonna go eat. We're gonna drink. Y'all still
Bet.
drink? Y'all some healthy dudes.
Bet.
yeah.
I've cut back a
Take
little
a
bit.
drink.
I've cut back a lot. And I actually haven't had a drink in almost 2 months.
Yeah, I'm not drinking too much either. But I'm going out.
It's
this
not
weekend.
conducive to what we're doing with our downtime when we're out there. It is not. Those two things do not go hand in hand. So it was just best to like, hey, let's put this away for a little while.
I had a buddy in the league. He got a little older. He's younger than me. It was around his birthday. That's why this happened. But he played in a game in a very exciting city that he wasn't supposed to play in. He was told beforehand he wasn't going to play. And then the day of, it's like, oh, you got to play because this person's out. Oh man, he had a long night. Long night. It was like, man, it don't wear off like it used to.
Yeah.
4:30 won the game, like don't.
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, I'm not. I ain't 26 no more. I was like, yo, look,
man.
you should talk to me. I'm 39, boy. If I go out on Saturday, I ain't working out till Wednesday. What you mean?
I ain't got there yet. But I also don't drink that much. Like I have a drink just to wet my beat. You know what I mean? But I ain't drinking like that. It's been a long time since I experienced like drogginess from drinking the night before and nothing like that. I don't.
Nah,
But once
like,
again, I don't drink that much either.
We older and more mature now, so it's like we know when to stop. We know stuff like that. But you have a night here and there where it's like, you know, when you out too. Like if I had this last drink, this is gonna
be the one.
The night's gonna change after this.
Yeah, it's gonna be the one right here.
See, you know what it is though too. Is at least in my household, the 2-year-old don't care about what I did the night before. Wake up, perform your daddy duties. Bottom line. So I just condition my head like it. Even if I was hungover, I better snap out of it.
I'm done with that. Like, brother. My youngest is 12. I'm almost.
It's
I
lit.
end up being a grandpa before I have another baby, and I'm like, and this grandpa baby, I don't gotta wake up. That's all you. But yeah, man, it's it take a little longer than it used to. Used to get just right to it. But
not built like that no more.
I try to. We celebrating a birthday out here this week, so
there you go.
Like, ain't no telling how the weekend gonna go. But I still gotta get this run in.
Hydrate in advance, dog. Hydrate in advance.
Look, I done learned that trick. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe a little Excedrin before you had that first drink, a little Tylenol, whatever, you'd be good to go.
Look, if you catch me out and I got French fries, just know I'm holding on for dear life, gang.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for too much right now.
Yeah, French fries are the go-to. But yeah, we're gonna link up when we get out there, man.
Every time, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
You, bro.
Yes,
sir.
I'm not gonna see y'all for the holidays. I'm guessing we're not talking
next
Friday.
Nah, we
all
holidays.
White, light meat, dark meat.
Dark.
Yeah. Come on, man. Dark's better.
Dark.
Pumpkin pie, sweet potato.
Neither.
Yeah, pass.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
Pass.
Best side.
It's either macaroni and cheese or it's stuffing. It depends on who makes either one of them, though.
Mac and cheese if it's made by me. Greens if it's made by someone experienced.
I'm a Mac person myself. So.
Yeah.
It depends. Some people I don't like the way they make them. So I get
because some people don't make it right. That's why.
I get a little picky. But if it's made right, that's number one.
We ain't got that problem over here. We get taken. We well fed, my good brother.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Dark meat, mac and cheese. That's all I really need. Little mashed potatoes. Pumpkin pie, y'all crazy. Don't skip pumpkin pie.
No, man, absolutely not.
My mom makes
with like 3 or 4 over here. My daughter, my 12-year-old like it now too. With the whipped cream.
I'll have some water for dessert. I'm good. Just give me a scoop of the whipped cream and call it a day.
Yeah, see, that's why you got an 8-pack and I got a belly. See?
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, it's